An addiction is like an itch you can't scratch. You keep needing more, like a black hole that just needs to be, is consuming you all the time. You can't stop it. When I'm working with my alcoholics, I work with people who've been drinking 2-3 bottles a day, whether it's wine or beer, and they need to have a drink. They need to have a drink, and they drink to different levels. Some people just drink because they just need it just to maintain themselves. Other people are coping with some trauma and experience, and that trauma just goes on and on and on. So my job is to enable that person not to stop drinking, not really. My job is to enable them to let go of the need to drink that made them addicted to that amount of drink in the first place. If we can deal with their reason to drink, whether it's a bereavement or whether it's low self-esteem or whether it's issues to do with parents that have abused them for years, it doesn't really matter. The point is that we deal with those underlying issues, so post-traumatic events, and we get them to a stage where they need to drink less and less and less and less. And it gets them to a stage where they don't need to drink, that need to drink has gone, and technically they can just enjoy a drink. I mean, if I'm working with someone who has an eating disorder and they're putting on weight, they've been to Weight Watchers, they know everything about what they should not be eating, but they continue eating. Yeah, I mean, you can go to one of these groups and they're really successful in many cases because the motivation from the group suppresses your need to drink, suppresses your need to eat, suppresses your need to eat so much so that you can begin to lose weight. But what happens when you leave these organizations? That motivation, that group support has gone, and guess what? That need to eat comes back again. But the real issue is not really dealing with just the need to eat. It's the issues that drive that need to eat. When I'm working with people with an addiction, when we look back on the work we've done, it isn't really ending the addiction that's the real benefit. It's that part of them that needs that addiction in the first place. When that is gone, they're so much happier. You know, when I'm working with people who are alcoholics, the journey that they experience through the work that we do is so liberating, and they feel so much better along the way. You know, I'm working with a client at the moment, and when we started, they were depressed, they were overwhelmed. They at work, they would say yes when they really wanted to say no. Their confidence was on the ground. And all this stuff was going on. What's the use of taking away a support mechanism like drinking when they're already like that? I talk a lot about people using a mechanism like eating, drinking, smoking as a crutch. And in this work, I never take away a crutch. I make a promise never to take away a crutch. And that promise is really important because people are terrified about giving up the drinking. What do I do without it? And I always say to them, I don't take away the drink. I don't take away the smoking, the addiction. I don't take it away. I enable you to let it go because there's a part of you that needs that addiction to cope with something. It's a coping mechanism. And I've talked about coping mechanisms before, but let's go through it again. A coping mechanism was created sometime between the time your very first thoughts and this moment right now to deal with the situation you were in at the time. Now, unlike being in the armed forces, unlike being a soldier, you're not trained to deal with fighting. You're not equipped with weapons. You're not trained physically or mentally. You're just chucked into that situation and you cope any way you can, sink or swim. Even people who've been in the armed forces, they come back traumatized. My job is to enable you to let go of that addiction when you're ready. Not when your conscious mind is ready, but when your subconscious mind is ready. When you're ready, and when you let it go because you don't need it anymore. it's redundant, it's unnecessary, because we have healed all the issues that have made you become addicted in the first place. And by the time we finish that journey, you're feeling so much better anyway. Almost the letting go of the addiction is just, well, compared to the benefits they've got already, it's just, wow, it's just icing on the cake. So I offer a free 20-minute consultation where we can have a chat about how we can end your addiction. I mean, end it, not control it, not suppress it, not avoid it, but end it. And we end your addiction and we let it go. However, there is another route. If you're really interested, I can teach you to use self-hypnosis to also end your addiction. Obviously, you don't have 30 years as a hypnotherapist, but it can still be done. I love training people. I run training courses. It's a 12-hour training course, and I enable people to empower themselves, mind management techniques that I have been using for over 30 years. I pass my knowledge to you in this course. Great course, fun course, and we get a lot of work done. So thank you very much. If you like to subscribe, click on the subscribe button or click on the like button. You'll receive more videos like this if you're interested in hypnosis and hypnotherapy. And as you can see, I love talking about it. Thank you.